Welcome to part 3. Now, somebody who has been listening to the other two parts of this recording, although I tried to break it down here and there, had the following comment. Ai Chris, hiyo ni kizungu nyingi sana. Hapa kwa hii channel tujazoea kizungu nyingi hivyo. Yeah? Hii ni channel ya kizungu kidogo ambayo inaeleweka rahisi. Sawa. Okay, I've gotten the message. Okay, so in this particular episode, we're just going to break down everything we've been reading through, because I think this is a very important article. Yeah, and by the way, I'll put a link in the description area of this video on YouTube, so that you can click on it. Wale watu wa kizungu nyingi, they can go there and read it for themselves. Okay, but the long and short of it is this: before these elections, these repeat elections of 26th of October were done, Uhuru Kenyatta was in a very strong position. Okay, he was the leader of the country. He was still the president. Yeah, the interim president. Yes, although his election had been overturned, yeah, he was still in a fairly strong position. Maybe not comfortable to what he's used to, you know, total authority and so on. We saw that he was definitely not comfortable. Hata kama ingekuwa way, you'd not be totally comfortable. But it was much better than the situation he is in now. Okay, because although the election had been overturned, okay, he was selling the rhetoric that, oh, Jubilee won, Jubilee have the numbers, and that the election was annulled only because of the process. Kitu kidogo mambo ya computers hapa na pale. Yeah, in fact, they should open the ballot boxes, he won, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now what has happened after this repeat election, dramatically and very spectacularly so, is that it has become very clear. A few things have happened. Number one, it has become very clear that those numbers of August 8th that Jubilee kept on telling us the candidate won with are not there. To make matters worse, Jubilee campaigned very aggressively for those elections. Not only that, they managed to get defectors who defected from NASA to Jubilee. Yeah? And many of these defectors promised very many votes for the president. Okay, a lot of things were done by Jubilee. Okay, now despite all that, yeah, it did not work. And now the most weakening factor for Uhuru Kenyatta is the fact that the whole world, yeah, because if you listen to the Al Jazeera interview with William Ruto, you'll know how the whole world is thinking. Yeah, because he was asked several times, he tried to dodge the question, but he was asked several times, this majority people did not take part in the elections. Are you trying to tell us they don't matter? Are you trying to tell us that they're of no consequence? Yes, these are the very hard questions that Jubilee have to answer. And the truth is, from history, from politics, from whatever subject, from common sense, from whichever way you look at it, there's no way you can ignore numbers. Okay? Now, of course, we're seeing the new rhetoric which Ruto brought up in the Al Jazeera interview. He said that what Raila had done, he had hired militia to keep people from voting. Okay? Hiyo ni sawa. Yeah, that's what Ruto says, and probably has evidence to prove that. But from where I sit, yeah, in Nyanza, there were rowdy crowds which would have prevented anybody even who wanted to vote. That is a fact. Yeah, that one I agree. But what about the rest of the country? And even more important, what about the Jubilee strongholds, which had very low turnout? Okay, so as a result of those factors, your argument is cancelled. Okay, that argument does not hold any water. So to summarize it, a move that was supposed to be checkmate kumaliza kabisa Raila Odinga arudi uko Bondo has backfired. You know, there's something called a boomerang. Unairushanga ipige kitu, and then instead of hitting a target, inaenda round, alafu inarudi, it comes to hit you. This is exactly what has happened in this case. Now, if this was 1960 something or 1970 something, I think Jubilee would have had more options of what to do next. Yeah, mainly to repress people, iron rule, ile ya Moi, yeah, mpende muspende, you must obey, you know. But we live in different times where the world is a village, whereby people have been used to multi-party politics for over 24 years, let's say 25 years. Yeah, people are not ready for that kind of rule, and already we can see how people are strongly resisting it. You read in social media, yeah, which the government already is clamping down on. Yeah, I told you earlier on, Kenya is the only country in Africa, in fact maybe in the world, no, China I think they have, but Kenya is definitely the only country in Africa that has internet police. Okay, people who monitor what you're saying on social media. Yeah, and if you say the wrong things, you can be picked up, locked up, tortured, etc., etc. But despite that fear, you have seen the way Kenyans have risen up on social media. Yeah, even if you go out and listen to how people are talking, what wanaongea matope, you know, to talk local language. Yeah, so clearly, trying to be authoritarian and trying to clamp down on people will not work. Now, what was not in the article, and what we already know on this channel, is that is already the direction the government is taking. Okay, because we have seen the way the demonstrations have gone. Yes, we have seen what has happened even after the recent 26th repeat elections. We have seen what has been happening in Migori. Yeah, there's we're still hearing people are getting killed. Yes, and even here in Nairobi, in Kawangware 56, we have heard what is happening. Yeah, people are being killed and so on and so forth. So it stands to reason that the decision which has been taken already by the Jubilee government is they're not going to give an inch. Okay, they're going to come down hard on Kenyans. Okay, so the only option for us as citizens is to brace ourselves for what is to come. Now, of course, from a spiritual point of view, we already know what is happening. We know that all these things have been set up, yeah, by Almighty God, yeah, and we know that He has a plan to bring about change in Kenya. Yes, we know that we're waiting for 2 more overturns. Yes, and then things will not work, yeah, until the person God has chosen, yeah, the person He says He who it is right. Until that person comes, yeah, things will not go back to normal. That's what we know from a spiritual point of view. And the article that we have just read, yeah, from this analyst who I really like, yeah, because he's very clear in the way he analyzes. Yes, I like his analysis. The analysis that we've read from Wachira Maina, who's a constitutional lawyer, is very clear, yeah, and it points us already in the direction, in the options which are on the table, yeah. It also, in a way, which I find very interesting, it kind of analyzes the president's temperament and the advisors around him. Yeah, you notice he calls his current advisors, they have been criminally inept. Yani, they have been so, they've really lost the plot, in short, which is what we have been saying in this channel. Yeah, those advisors, you've heard me asking many times here, who advises the government? Yeah, because the kind of advice they're giving him is for 60s, 70s, could have worked maybe, yeah, but for this day and age, ngumu sana, okay. Now, there's no evidence that he has changed his advisors, so we should expect more of the same. Of course, what this means is that our country is heading into an even darker place, okay, and this is a time when those who are praying should step up their prayers, yeah, ask God to remember mercy, ask God to, just shorten the whole nightmare. Yeah, because definitely what we're headed for is not heaven. It is a nightmare. Yeah, it's not heaven on earth. It's nightmare. And of course it will be made worse because politically, the opposition now have gained an upper hand. Politically, yeah. And, you don't have to say, people say, Kumekucha, you're always very unbiased. You're always favoring the opposition. Now I'm quoting from another analyst. And by this analyst is called Wachira Maina. Okay? So he comes from where? Yeah, he comes from the House of Mumbi. So most House of Mumbi people criticize me. Now I'm quoting one of your own analyzing the situation, yeah? And he says now the opposition in a stronger position. Okay? What that means is the government has to play catch up to gain the upper hand again. Naiyo, I don't even want to talk about it on an open channel. But that's what the situation is. It cannot be changed as of now. Only God can save Kenya as we speak. Okay? Until next time, this is Kshs Kumekucha.